Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. Michael Darcy, your host here as always. And today I'm going to break down the Kansas City Chiefs Week 4 victory against the New York Jets. They just beat the Jets on Sunday Night Football by a final score of 23-20. Now, I will say that this post-game show is going to be brief. I lost my voice from strep throat about a week ago, and I haven't been able to speak all week. So I'm just trying to gut out this performance for you guys and give you my thoughts on this win, but it's going to be pretty brief because I just can't really talk right now. But let's get to it. The Chiefs won an ugly game. This game shouldn't have been as ugly as it was. They got off to a great start. At one point, the Chiefs were up 17-0. They scored 17 unanswered points in the first quarter, but the Jets were able to crawl back. Zach Wilson, to his credit, looked pretty good in this game, which I was not expecting coming in because Zach Wilson's always been a guy that, makes mistakes. And one of the mistakes that he made that ended up being crucial in this game was a fumble to Tershawn Wharton, which the Chiefs offense got the ball back and went on a long drive and kind of milked the clock. But without that mistake, Zach Wilson played about as well as I think a quarterback could play given the circumstances. And props to him because I was not expecting that coming into this game. And I wouldn't be outraged if you said that Zach Wilson played better than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was kind of all over the place today. He wasn't terrible by any means, but he threw 2 interceptions that were just very uncharacteristic interceptions for Patrick Mahomes. Both of them were underthrown. He was 18 of 30 for 203. Throwing 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, like I just mentioned, just wasn't the very prototypical game for Patrick Mahomes. And obviously, he ended up bailing you out in the end by scrambling on that third down, getting the first down, staying in bounds, and sliding to kind of just end the game. The Chiefs were able to kneel out the rest of the clock, and the Chiefs won. But it's funny that when Patrick Mahomes isn't on with his arm, he seemingly makes all the right plays with his feet to kind of keep you in and win games, because he had a play in the fourth quarter on like 3rd and 20. He ended up getting 25 yards to get the first down, kept the chains moving, and without that run, you probably don't win this game. And I want to mention his rushing stats really quickly. Patrick Mahomes had 7 carries or 7 rushing attempts for 51 yards. So, I mean, that's about as good as it's going to get from your quarterback, kind of putting the team on his back and getting it done with his legs. But the Chiefs were also able to get it done on the back of Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco was really good in this game. He had 158 total yards, 115 rushing yards, and he had 1 big rushing touchdown in the first quarter, that long run being a 48-yard scamper to the end zone. He's just so fast. Once he got past that second line of Jets defense, he was gone. He was just gone from the very beginning. So great thing from Isaiah Pacheco being back in New Jersey, playing in front of his hometown fans and his family. Great to see because Isaiah Pacheco kind of put the team on his back. And this was probably his best game that he's had statistically in his NFL career. So great stuff from Isaiah Pacheco. And I do think that for this offense being as stale as it was after the first quarter, they were able to get it done just enough. Now, I don't think that's going to be good enough to get it done against a team like the Miami Dolphins or the Buffalo Bills, but the Chiefs underplaying competition is nothing new. We've seen this for the longest time, and I guess I'm a little surprised that after such a great start, getting up 17 points, the Chiefs just completely took the foot off the gas pedal. Almost reminded me of like a Cincinnati Bengals AFC Championship game in 2021 where the Chiefs had so much success on offense in the first half and then come second half they couldn't do anything. That's kind of what this game felt like, but they were able to make just enough plays offensively to get the job done. Harrison Butker was great tonight, did his job, made all the field goal attempts that he had to. And the difference in this game was a Harrison Butker field goal in the fourth quarter, and that's how the Chiefs won this game, by a field goal. So it was definitely an interesting game offensively. The Chiefs wide receivers still leave a lot to be desired. They couldn't really get separation on the Jets defensive backs. And I think part of that you have to credit the Jets defense because they are just so good. Sauce Gardner's great. Mosley, the linebacker, is really good. They've got a pretty good secondary and linebacking core. And I just think that the Chiefs wide receivers had a pretty difficult time tonight getting separation. Going over the receiving numbers, Travis Kelce, with Taylor Swift in the house, had 6 receptions for 60 yards, his longest being 16 yards. Isaiah Pacheco had 3 for 43. Noah Gray had 1 catch for 34 yards. That was the 34-yard touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes. Rashee Rice had 3 catches for 32 yards. Kadarius Toney had 2 catches for 22. MVS had 1 catch for 6. Justin Watson had 1 catch for 5. Clyde had 1 catch for 1 yard. Surprise there. But the Chiefs receivers definitely could have had a better game, but it was a rushing game tonight. Isaiah Pacheco allowed the Chiefs wide receivers the grace of having an off night. So I do think that is a concerning thing, but also it's good that when you're not clicking on all cylinders, you still have certain guys step up in different moments to get the job done. Now, before we get over to the defense, I kind of wanted to talk about the Taylor Swift thing a little bit. Me being in my, sick mindset or just like being under the weather, I get kind of pissed off easily. And something about seeing, Taylor Swift in the suite, I'm glad that her and Travis are, doing well in their relationship. And this really isn't an indictment against her. It's an indictment against the TV crew and just the cameras. The cameras are always going to be around Taylor Swift, and I understand that. But it was like after every single, Chiefs touchdown or Chiefs field goal, or when they were going to the commercial break, it always panned to Taylor Swift. It's like, what are we doing, guys? Like, it's almost like the game is secondary to Taylor Swift sitting in the stands. We get it. She's the biggest pop icon in the world right now. Cool. I want to watch the game, guys. She's dating our tight end. I understand. But guess what? I don't care. I'm trying to see the game on the field. So I guess that's my only complaint from the TV broadcast. Just a lot of Taylor Swift coverage. And I understand that that's part of the territory when you have a person of that status in the crowd. But, I could go without seeing her before going to every single commercial break. I'm not going to lie. Getting to the defense, now that we're over that ramble, I think the defense actually did okay. A lot of people are going to say that, Zach Wilson shredded this Chiefs defense, and that is the case. But I also saw the Chiefs defense only allow 20 points, given the fact that Patrick Mahomes threw 2 really bad interceptions to give the Jets offense short field position. So, all things considered, holding the Jets, and also there was a safety in this game because Jawan Taylor got called for a face mask in the end zone, so it gave the Jets 2 points. The Jets got a field goal, and then on one of the interceptions that Patrick Mahomes threw, since they were in short field position, they got a touchdown out of that. So I think that if you take away some of the offensive blunders, the Chiefs defense only gives up like 10 to 13 points, and I'll take that. I think the Chiefs defense has been one of the few consistency bright spots of this team this year. Coming into the game, they were the number 6 ranked defense in the NFL. I thought they looked okay. The pass rush definitely left a lot to be desired. They didn't do too much. They sacked Zach Wilson twice. But I think that you're going to have some games where it's not pretty. And this was not really a pretty game for the Chiefs defense. But I also think they did a pretty good job considering that Nick Bolton wasn't playing in this game. And, you had some issues getting some pressure. So I do think that, a guy like Garrett Wilson was pretty much blanketed by L'Jarius Sneed all night long, which great for our secondary. You didn't really get cooked too much in that area. I think a lot of people freak out when they just see Zach Wilson looking really good. But, some of the throws that Zach Wilson was making, he's going to make those throws against any other defense. But I think that they're just so distracted by the fact that it was Zach Wilson that, that's why we're talking about it. There was just a lot of throws that he made tonight that were good. He looked good tonight, and I think you got to give him a lot of credit. That's more of an accomplishment for him and less of an indictment against the Chiefs' defense. But again, the one thing that Zach Wilson has done throughout his career is make that costly mistake. And that costly mistake, as I mentioned early on in the postgame show, was that fumble to Tershawn Wharton. Tershawn Wharton got a botched snap recovery, gave the ball back to the offense. The Chiefs were able to march down the field and turn that into points. That's what you love to see. When Zach Wilson, who played almost a perfect game. Offensively, it was good to see that one mistake really come back to haunt them, because Patrick Mahomes had a couple of mistakes tonight that definitely could have haunted them, but they didn't. So I do want to give the Chiefs defense some credit. One thing that I will say is that we haven't really seen a lot of blown tackles from the Chiefs this year. So I do think they've improved in that aspect. And like I said, if we're going to blame anybody for this narrow victory, blame might not be the right word, but it was definitely the offense. The offense put way too much of a burden on the defense, giving the Jets offense, a short field and almost free point. I guess they did give them free points on the safety. So I do think that this defense was good. The final score isn't an indicator of how well they played. They definitely can improve to getting to the quarterback, but I also think that we've seen this defense be consistent over a 3 or 4 week period right now, and they haven't faltered yet. 20 points on the road against Zach Wilson, I'm not going to label as a bad game. I'm just not going to. If anything, I think the Chiefs offense needs to continue to get better, find a way to work through it and play consistent for 4 quarters, because the Chiefs offense had a great first quarter, putting up 17 points, but not a very good 3 rest of the quarters. They just were not able to get anything going. And after the 17 points, the rest were field goals. So I would really like to see the Chiefs offense improve, but I got all the trust in Patrick Mahomes that he's going to figure it out. And like I said, even when Patrick Mahomes isn't throwing the ball particularly well, he's still making plays with his feet. And without Patrick Mahomes scrambling on that 3rd and 20, getting 25, and on 3rd and long with time winding down in the 4th quarter, if he didn't scramble, getting that first down and sliding to keep his body in bounds, that was the final play of this game. That's how the Chiefs won this game. So it is refreshing to see a quarterback who might not be playing his best game still make the necessary plays to win the game. So, guys, it has been a struggle for me to talk during this post-game show. I'm going to leave you with that. Chiefs were able to win a tough game on Sunday Night Football against the New York Jets by a final score of 23-20. Not a pretty game, but hey, it's a road game. It's a road victory. The Chiefs advanced to 3-1 in the 2023 season. They return home to play the Minnesota Vikings next week in Week 5. Should be a good game. I will see you next time. Again, Chiefs win this game by a final score of 23-20. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video, and go Chiefs.